Are
talking
you?
about women
Are you?
having pregnancies?
Do you believe that men can get pregnant?
Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to talk about how activists use postmodern deconstruction to manipulate you. This is a fascinating topic that not a lot of people know about, but it's important to be aware of. This type of manipulation is meant to stop you in your tracks and prevent you from taking action. But once you know about it, you can't be manipulated so easily. So please watch and share this video to help spread awareness. This explainer will be separated into 3 videos to help break down this topic. Part 1 will teach you how to recognize deconstruction using a gender activist testimony during a Senate Judiciary hearing. Deconstruction is one of those topics that once someone points it out to you and puts words to it, it will become visible to you whenever it's put in front of you. Part 2 will teach you the strategy of deconstruction and how it developed. I will apply the tactics of deconstruction to different arguments so that you can recognize the patterns of logic that deconstruction uses. And finally, in part 3, I will provide you with an easily actionable way that you can combat deconstruction when used against you. You will be able to stop this tactic in its tracks and stop being manipulated by activists using deconstruction. The 60-second exchange between Senator Josh Hawley and Professor Laura Bridges. You will see Laura Bridges use deconstruction to go as far as to say that men can get pregnant. I will play through the video one time and then come back and break down what just happened.
Several times you've used a phrase, I want to make sure I understand what you mean by it. You've referred to people with a capacity for pregnancy. Would that be women?
Many women, cis women, have the capacity for pregnancy. Many cis women do not have the capacity for pregnancy. There are also trans men who are capable of pregnancy, as well as non-binary people who are capable of pregnancy.
So this isn't really a women's rights issue.
We can recognize that this impacts women while also recognizing that it impacts other groups. Those things are not mutually exclusive, Senator Hawley.
Oh, so your view is that the core of this right then is about what?
So I want to recognize that your line of questioning is transphobic, and it opens up trans people to violence by not recognizing them.
Wow, you're saying that I'm opening up people to violence by asking whether or not women are the folks who can have pregnancies?
So I want to note that 1 out of 5 transgender persons have attempted suicide. So I think it's important
because of my line of questioning? So we can't talk about it?
Because denying that trans people exist and pretending not to know that they exist.
I'm denying that trans people exist by asking you if you're talking about women having pregnancies?
Do you believe that men can get pregnant?
No, I don't think women can get
So
pregnant.
you are denying that trans people exist?
And that leads to violence? Is this how you run your classroom? Are students allowed to question you?
Absolutely.
Or are they also treated like this, where
No,
they're told that they're opening up people to violence?
We have a good time in my class. You should join.
Oh, I bet.
You might learn a lot.
Wow, I would learn a lot. I've learned a lot just in this exchange.
Absolutely.
Extraordinary.
Wow, that was quite the headache. But as you saw in the video, her strategy of using deconstruction is a powerful tool that can be used to bog the other person down, just like as if you're stuck in a mud pit. Deconstruction used dishonestly tries to stop the other person from making any progress in the conversation, because as the other person attempts to unwind the questions and statements made by the person doing the deconstructing, it tricks you to accept their terms, step into their logic, and step into a defensive position. Now let's highlight some specific deconstruction tactics that Bridges used in this clip.
Many women, cis women, have the capacity for pregnancy. Many cis women do not have the capacity for pregnancy.
Notice how Bridges tries to subvert the meaning of the word women. She undercuts the word women's legitimacy by highlighting groups that she claims are missing from the definition.
There are also trans men who are capable of pregnancy, as well as non-binary people who are capable of pregnancy.
Notice how Bridges tries to blur the lines and boundaries which define the topic.
We can recognize that this impacts women while also recognizing that it impacts other groups. Those things are not mutually exclusive, Senator Hawley.
Notice how Bridges tries to frame the questioning as corrupted by interests of biased people.
So I want to recognize that your line of questioning is transphobic, and it opens up trans people to violence by not recognizing them.
Wow,
I want to note that 1 out of 5 transgender persons have attempted suicide. So I think it's important
because of my line of questioning? So we can't talk.
Notice how Bridges reinterprets, reframes, decontextualizes, and recontextualizes the meaning of Hawley's response.
Talk about it?
Because denying that trans people exist and pretending not to know that they exist.
I'm denying that trans people exist by asking you if you're talking about women having pregnancies?
Do you believe that men can get pregnant?
No, I don't think women can
So
get
you are
pregnant.
denying that trans people exist?
And that leads to violence? Is this how you run your classroom or student?
So now you are beginning to recognize when deconstruction is being used. In part 2, we will define specifically what is the tactics of deconstruction and gain greater understanding by applying the tactics to cartoonishly simple examples. In part 3, we will wrap up this topic by discussing how we can combat deconstruction when it's being used against you. And with that, I am Audio Coffee. Please like, subscribe, and share the video with any parents, students, or organizations that you believe may be coming up against this manipulative tactic. And I will see you in part 2.